Hello, all of you beautiful people around the world. My name is Ryan, aka Blackbeard TCG. And in today's video, I want to talk about two 3-cost characters in our game. One in blue and one in purple. The purple one being Jack and the blue one being Sentomaru. Now, in terms of Sentomaru, I want to talk about him because I know that a lot of people have been asking me why don't I play it. So I want to tell you guys my mindset about it. But then I also want to tell you guys my opinion on Jack. Obviously, I haven't played a ton of purple on this channel. I have dabbled in playing with Kaido as well myself. I've taken a look at other people's lists and I have some of my own opinions. So I just want to share them with you guys and hear what you guys have to say. Again, one thing that I absolutely love about all of you guys, all of you people that watch my videos, that are subscribed and all that stuff, we've really created a community where we can have a conversation, right? Like my videos aren't gospel. I'm not the best player. Heck, I'm probably not even in like the top percentage of players. I just really enjoy playing this game. I enjoy making content for you guys and I'm always learning. But of course I have my own opinions. And the best way for any of us to learn, for any of us to get better, is to keep our minds open and discuss these things. And I feel like you guys specifically in my community, you guys are really open to that. We're very, very non-confrontational. And so if there's things that you don't agree with what I say, please let me know in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, if what you're saying really is true, it's only going to make me a better player. So again, don't take this video as like, oh, Ryan said this, so this is the 100% fact, because that is not true. But I do want to tell you guys my opinion on these cards, and maybe it might trigger something for you guys to say like, okay, I can see your point of view. Maybe I will implement this, right? Cool. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Sentomaru first. So a lot of people have been asking, why don't I like Sentomaru? Now, it's not that I don't like Sentomaru, but I just feel like it doesn't really fit with my playstyle. Now, what do I mean by that? So if we take a look at Sentomaru, Sentomaru can be deployed as early as turn 2. If you go first, you have 3 Dawn. If you go second, you have 4 Dawn. So what does that mean? That means that when you play Sentomaru, you effectively can't make use of it that turn. Sentomaru is not really a unit that you want to be swinging with, although you easily can, because Sentomaru does have 4,000 power. All it needs is 1 Dawn, and you're probably going to be attaching 1 Dawn anyways to it in order to trigger its effect. So it's going to be a card that will be a pretty good attacker for you, especially in the early game, especially if you're facing decks that are really aggressive. If you feel like you do need to get that swing in order to control the board, then by all means you can do so. Now, with that being said, for me, I feel like Sentomaru takes a lot of investment. So we talked about being able to play it as early as turn 2. We got some of my custom Dawn here. So let's say it's turn 2, we go first, right? So we have our 3 Dawn. That means we are going to tap these 3 to play Sentomaru. We effectively can't use our Doflamingo. I do this all in one take, you feel me? We effectively can't use our Doflamingo leader ability because we invested all of it in Sentomaru. Now, on top of that, say if we're playing Crocodile, for me, I would have rather had these 3 Dawn and used these 3 Dawn in order to play my Don Quixote Doflamingo and begin stacking my deck and start looking for my Mihawk, for example, if I know I'm going against green, or any of those other cards, right? So for me, that's my type of mindset that I want to look for in the early game, because for me, I'm like, okay, I really want to play more towards that mid to late game, and investing 3 Dawn on turn 2 just to play Sentomaru kind of doesn't really fit the playstyle that I like. So now we move on to the next turn, right? When Sentomaru can actually start being useful. If you go first, you have 5 Dawn, or if you go second, you'll have 6 Dawn. So what do we have to do now? So we have 5 Dawn. We now have to attach 1 Dawn to Sentomaru, which is completely fine, right? Because now it could potentially be an offensive weapon. Although, again, unless you're really facing red or somebody's playing really, really aggressive towards you, maybe you're facing Law and you really want to get stuff off the board so that way they can't room shambles technology on you, then you're going to want to control the board and you want to swing. But with that being said, ideally, you want Sentomaru to just sit on board and continue to generate advantage for you so you can bring up Pacifista after Pacifista. Now, the reason why, again, I'm not a huge fan of this is because you play this and then on top of that, you have to tap 2 Dawn in order to use its ability, but then you get to cheat out of Pacifista. Now, of course, you're saying like, Ryan, like this is very, very useful because you are using 3 Dawn and you're getting a 4K unit out of the deck. right? With 6k power. Or you could even play the blocker version, and I'll get to that a little bit later. For me, the way I look at it is I invested 3 Dawn that way, or I could use 2 Dawn, attach it to my Doflamingo leader. He is now 7k. I can swing, tap the other Dawn, and then still bring out, well, I don't have another 7 Warlords on hand right now, but then bring out a 7 Warlords onto the board, and I'm also exerting board pressure as well with the Doflamingo being a 7k beater. Right? So having that much amount of power is very, very good because as we all know, it's going to make your opponent have to use 2 cards in order to counter it or use an event. Now, of course, there's the argument. Doflamingo brings them out rested, whereas Pacifista brings them out active, meaning that your opponent cannot attack it, and then you can go ahead and use it on the backswing on your turn. Or if you want to go ahead and bring out a Pacifista, then you have a blocker as well, which is very helpful against red. I completely understand that point of view, but again, for me, the way that I play and the way that I want to utilize my Dawn, I rather very much use it on Doflamingo, right? If I'm playing Crocodile and I have 5 Dawn here, I really want to kind of play this on curve and bring out Virgo. Obviously, of course, you want to be careful. You don't want to play directly into an Okiku that is on board that she could just rest and then they can look for the counter swing. Of course, I'm not telling you to do that. But with that being said, ideally, when I have 5 Dawn, I'm going to want to play out my Virgo, right? This will automatically exude, I don't know. It will automatically put pressure on the board is basically what I'm trying to say, especially if you are going up against Kid. You want to make sure that you have units on the board before their units come out so then you can begin your offensive assaults. That is how you beat green when you are playing blue. You want to try to have your Doflamingos, your Virgos, and your Mihawks ready to go. Obviously, you don't want to play Mihawk too early because you want to be able to hopefully spin back 7-cost Kid to the bottom of the deck. But of course, if you do have it on board early for whatever situation, it's 9k, which will then be able to be a huge asset for you to beat over the 8-cost Kid. But then also Virgo being 7-cost is something that's going to be very, very easy to pump up to get over 8-cost Kid as well as 7-cost Kid. So these are just the type of plays that in my mind I'm thinking about, right? Whereas, of course, again, you could say that you have your 5 Dawn, you have this, and then you have your Pacifista. So I don't know. It's up to you guys. Whatever you guys value more, how you want to play. For me, I just don't feel like it's as effective, and I feel like I would much rather have my Doflamingo swinging with 7k, exuding pressure, or playing my Virgo, right? Like, that's my idea. Now, I do also understand, of course, Sentomaru opens up early game, right? A lot of people say, like, what do you want to do early game? Well, that comes down to your deck building and what you mulligan for, right? Are you looking for Peronas? Are you looking for Doflamingos? Are you looking for Laws, right? Like, there's other early game plays that you can make that don't have to be Sentomaru. So all in all, what I'll say is it comes down to you. It really does come down to how do you play and play test. If you like Sentomaru in your build and you're having success with it, don't listen to me. If you're having success, keep going with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You feel me? Keep doing what you guys are doing, because if you guys are winning, that is all that matters. For me, when I did the testing, I did not like it. So that's why I'm not playing Sentomaru, and maybe I might find room for it in the future, in a future build. I'll see how it goes. But for right now, it is not my cup of tea. So that is Sentomaru. Now, real quick on the Pacifistas. I know in my other deck, I like to play 4 copies of this Pacifista to bring out with the other Kuma. Obviously, you could play the blocker one. I don't like it because obviously it's 1,000 less power, but on top of that, it doesn't have counter. And in this game, you need to have counters. So I tried to minimize the amount of cards that don't have counter, and I still value this Pacifista over this one. That is very quick, self-explanatory. Or maybe it's not self-explanatory. So at least you guys know my mindset on that. So now real quick, I want to talk about Jack. So if you're playing purple, right, you have access to Onigashima. You have access to your island, which is very, very great. It's very important. It helps you ramp. So far in the game, you have nothing that can destroy stages. So once you play it, it's just going to continuously generate advantage. A lot of Kaidos are going to want to go first so they can play it on curve. On turn 3, they go ahead and play their Onigashima. Then they tap it, and now all of a sudden they have 4 rested Dawn, and then they start the next turn with 6 Dawn, and they can begin their plays. So that's Onigashima. Now, Okay, sorry if it looked like my camera moved. My phone actually just ran out of battery. I try to do this all in one take, my friends, but hey, sometimes that happens. Anyways, like I said, you'll be able to start popping off, start doing your plays. You can start playing your queens. You can start playing your kings. Do whatever shenanigans you want once you have your Onigashima. Now, the thing is, you're not going to always be able to start with Onigashima. Of course, you're going to try to mulligan for it and try and go ahead and play that, but you're not always going to have access to it. In comes Jack. Now, why do I bring up Jack? Well, I've been seeing some Kaido lists, and it actually surprises me that people aren't playing this. Now, when I say the list that I've been looking at, it's more so here in the English meta. Because when I look at the top Kaido players or some of the really, really skilled Kaido players in Asia, it seems like a majority of them are running 4 copies of this Jack. And it makes complete sense to me. It allows you to have the ability to still have that extra Dawn early on and try to begin your ramp and try to make plays. Of course, you're not going to have the consistent flow of Dawn that is Onigashima, but Jack will at least allow you to kickstart your engine and kickstart your plays. It has 4,000 power, it has counter, and it's not dead once it's on board because all you have to do is attach 1 Dawn to it, and it's a 5k body that you can then swing with. So overall, I really do think that Jack is a card that I feel should see a lot more play if you are playing Kaido. For me, this is an instant 4 of in any Kaido build in set 1 for me. I put a lot of value on this card, personally. Now, with that being said, if you don't want to run the Jack, fine, that's on you, but I'd be very, very curious to understand why you wouldn't run the Jack. Is there something else that you'd rather have in this slot? Let me know in the comment section below. For me, Jack is a 4 of. For me, Sentomaru is a 0 of. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys feel like I'm making any good points? Am I just completely off my rocker and I'm missing out on something broken? Or is Jack just underpowered? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys so much. Continuing to show me all that support. I really appreciate, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.